All right, let's just imagine the ultimate survival scenario. We're talking no team, zero backup, and definitely no easy way home. It's just you against an entire planet. So yeah, let's dive right into this. Surviving Mars, the ultimate solo challenge.
So, I'm going to ask you straight up. Forget all the sci-fi movies for a minute. With the tech we have right now, could you really survive all alone on Mars? What would it actually take?
Okay, so the very first thing that would hit you? The cold. And I'm not talking about a chilly winter day. This is a biting, just relentless cold. The average temperature on Mars is a brisk negative 80 degrees Fahrenheit. And remember, that's just the average. It can get way, way colder.
And then there's the small problem of, breathing. You just can't. The air itself is basically a poison blanket. It's 95% carbon dioxide. And that tiny, tiny little sliver of oxygen you see there, that 0.16%, yeah, that's completely useless for us.
So, what does this all add up to? Well, Mars isn't just some empty desert. Think of it more like a giant interconnected escape room where every single puzzle is life or death, and you have to solve them every second of every single day.
All right, let's start tackling those puzzles, shall we? We're going to start with the absolute must-haves, the things you'd need to figure out in the first few minutes, the first few hours, just to, well, not die. This is your Martian life support.
And here's the thing, it's not even just the lack of oxygen that'll get you. Look at that pressure difference. The air on Mars is so incredibly thin. We're talking less than 1% of what we have on Earth. That means without a suit or a habitat, the liquids inside your body, your blood, the water in your cells, they would literally boil. Not a great way to go.
So, how do you get air to breathe? Simple, you make it. There's this amazing piece of tech, kind of like NASA's MOXIE experiment. The best way to think about it is like a mechanical tree. It literally breathes in that toxic Martian CO2, uses some electricity to zap the molecules apart, and then it breathes out pure, fresh oxygen, an endless supply made right there on the spot.
Okay, so you can breathe. Check. Next problem, you're going to get thirsty. And, well, there are no rivers, no lakes, no rain, not a drop. All the water on Mars is locked up solid, either frozen at the poles or buried deep underground.
So your survival now hinges on becoming a Martian water prospector. You need robots to drill down and mine that ice, but honestly, the even more crucial part, a totally closed-loop system, just like they have on the International Space Station. That means recycling every single drop of moisture, from your breath, your sweat, and yep, even your pee. Absolutely nothing can go to waste.
All right, so you've got air and you've got water for now. You're surviving, but you can't just be in survival mode forever, right? Now you got to start thinking about actually living, and for that, you're going to need a home.
And when I say home, I really mean a fortress. Because on Mars, the universe is constantly trying to kill you. There's no magnetic field, so you're just getting blasted with deadly radiation. You have these insane temperature swings, dust storms that can cover the entire planet, and a constant drizzle of tiny meteoroids. It's a rough neighborhood.
So the trick is, you have to use the planet itself as a shield from the planet. It's kind of brilliant, really. Your best bet? Go underground. Find a natural lava tube. Or you build a dome and then just pile a thick layer of Martian dirt, they call it regolith, right on top. That's your insulation and your radiation shield all in one.
So you're safe inside your new home, but sooner or later you're going to get hungry. And the Martian pantry, it is bone dry, completely, totally empty. The ground isn't just dirt, it's sterile, toxic dust. You literally have to create an ecosystem from scratch. The only way to do that is with a super high-tech farm. We're talking a pressurized greenhouse using hydroponics. So you're growing plants in nutrient-rich water, no soil needed. And since you're all alone, automation is everything. You'd need AI systems watching those plants 24/7. Because let's be blunt, if that farm fails, you starve. End of story.
Okay, let's recap. You've figured out air, water, shelter, food. You've basically engineered your own survival against all odds. But there's one element you've forgotten. The most dangerous, the most unpredictable, and the most fragile part of this whole equation is you.
Because the truth is, on Mars, the most hostile environment you'll face might be the one inside your own head. The toughest challenges aren't outside, they're inside.
Let's start with the physical stuff. Martian gravity is only about 38% of Earth's. Now that sounds like fun, right? Bouncing around. But over time, it's a disaster. Your muscles would waste away, your bones would get brittle, your own body would literally start to break down.
And that's before we even get to the psychological assault, the sheer crushing weight of being 140 million miles away from every single person you know and love. We're talking about a level of isolation that could easily lead to severe depression, cabin fever, a kind of disconnection from humanity that no one has ever experienced.
So your survival kit has to have mental tools too. Things like a super strict, non-negotiable daily exercise plan to fight that low gravity. A highly structured routine just to keep you sane and give you a sense of purpose. Maybe even an AI companion to talk to, and VR getaways to just see something green again, to remember what home feels like.
You know, it's an amazing fantasy, isn't it? The lone pioneer on a brand new world. But after going through all of these insane challenges, we kind of have to hit the brakes and look at the reality of how we'll actually get to Mars.
The real path to Mars is going to be a lot slower, a lot more deliberate. It'll start with robots, tons of them, sent ahead to build the basic infrastructure, habitats, power, oxygen generators. Then, and only then, the first humans will show up. And they'll show up as a crew, never as a solo act. Even with all that, becoming truly self-sufficient, that's a project that could take a century.
And yeah, that is the consensus from pretty much every expert out there. Why? Because there are just too many things that can go wrong. A single busted part in your life support, a medical emergency you can't handle, a psychological snap. For one person, any of those things is an instant death sentence. A crew? Well, a crew gives you redundancy. It gives you support. It gives you a much better chance. So, what's the final verdict here? It's an awesome thought experiment, no doubt about it. But surviving all alone on Mars? It's a monumental feat, one that pushes our technology, our minds, and our endurance to the absolute breaking point. It might just be impossible. But that leaves us with one last question. After all this, knowing all the incredible challenges, the overwhelming odds, the soul-crushing loneliness, if someone offered you that one-way ticket, would you still go?